number 2 LSU this season. Coach, we'll start with an opening statement.
Yeah, we're coming off of a really amazing weekend, Power of Pink. It was the 20th anniversary, and there was just a lot of emotion, a lot of really special moments that were wrapped up in Friday night, and so we really enjoyed that. But then the next day, we're back at it with strength and just continuing to build as we go into another big challenge this week at LSU. We had a great practice yesterday, just trying to work on improving in the areas that we can gain half 10 here or there to just continue to help our overall scoring potential as we progress through this back half of the season.
Katie?
Do you have an update on Makari after she was able to get further testing?
I do. Unfortunately, Makari suffered a season-ending leg injury, and so we're extremely bummed for her. But you know, I really just can't say enough about her team-first mentality. I think everybody could see her out there on the scooter, even during Power of Pink meet, where she was all in and invested. And we've talked all year about depth and the importance of depth, and so this team was ready to handle any challenge that was thrown their way, and you could see that by the way everybody stepped up and contributed in a big way. Having Shania Adams return back in the lineups last week was a big addition, and that really paid off for this team. So we've talked all year about how you just never know what's going to happen, but we need to be prepared for anything, and I'm really proud of the resilience that the team showed and being ready to step up when we needed them.
Corinne competed in the exhibition on vault. Can you just talk about her? We haven't gotten to see her compete in an actual competition, but she looked like she did a really good vault. Can you just talk about her development?
Yeah, Corinne's been working really hard to upgrade, really on every event, but vault, it was a big deal to have her go out there and compete a 1.5. She actually exhibitioned that at Texas Women's as well on Monday, and so back-to-back to compete 1.5s, to put a both to her feet. She built on that score as well, so we just need to continue to work on her landing, clean up some little areas, but she is also ready to go on bars and beam as well. Has been training really hard, has an amazing work ethic, and it can be tough to kind of be in that position where you're an alternate or an exhibition, and I just can't say enough about her determination, perseverance to really do whatever it takes for the team, whatever it takes to help the team. Not only is she an amazing asset in the gym, but she's an unbelievable student, an engineering major, and just is one of those people that goes above and beyond to give everything that she has for the team.
Okay.
What's going to be kind of the key to making sure this past week wasn't the peak and it's something you can keep building on?
I think it's recognizing that we still left so many things out there on the floor. While we improved in some of our landings, I think vault and beam landings are still areas that we have to get better at. You know, we had 1 stick on vault and I think 3 sticks on beam, and we have to up that. And so that's something that we worked really hard on yesterday. Just kind of going back to the basics and drilling those things, and then tomorrow when we get back into the gym, we're going to work on putting pressure in those areas to try to mimic what it feels like being in a meet situation where the nerves are high, the pressure feels high, and then being able to just calm down, manage the energy to execute what we've been working on in the gym.
Yeah.
What do you think will lead to your vault rotation? Like at Auburn, you guys had a really hit rotation, but it just seems like it's kind of inconsistent. What leads to consistency and like what can you see, what can you take away from the top vault teams in the country and kind of help your girls do that week in, week out?
You know, vault is one of those events that when you transfer it to competition, it's really hard to mimic the meet energy that you feel when you compete vault, especially when we're at home. When you're starting on vault, there's a lot of energy and adrenaline in that moment, and so it's just practice. It's doing it week in and week out of managing what you feel like in that moment, and so we work really hard on that in practice, but it's really hard to fully put yourself in that position unless you are in competition. So I will say week after week, they have really improved at how they're managing their nerves and how they're managing their approach, their focus. But some of them are working on building new habits from years and years, maybe 10 years of doing it one way, and they're trying to retrain in how they approach vault now. I'll use Chloe as an example. This is her first year ever competing a 10-0 vault like this. And so this is a new skill for her. While she was capable of it before she came to college, she was never quite prepared to be able to execute it. So for some of them, these are brand new skills that they've just learned, whereas some of the other events, they've been doing these skills for possibly 5 to 10 years. So they have a lot more experience built up on some of the other skills that they do, but vault, it really takes the max of their threshold of what they're doing out there. And so a lot of them right now, they just need a little bit more experience, and we're doing that as we progress throughout the season, and just looking to get half ton better, and just keep building.
So this week is a nationally televised meet at LSU. Who's really good at home. What will be important for the team to carry from last week's 2 meets into this week against LSU?
You know, if there's something I've learned about this team is they love to go into an environment where they're rooting against them. So I'm really not too concerned about how they're approaching this meet. Our team's excited to go into LSU. They're excited for what that environment feels like. But it'll be important to drown out the noise and just focus on what we can do. And I say that every week because it's simple, but it's not easy to take an environment, take an opportunity, to want it really bad, but then to kind of detach from that and just focus on what they can do. And so this week's going to be no different than that. It's our final SEC matchup. It'll be great preparation as we go into one more home meet and then on the road against Oklahoma, who's the #1 team in the country. So we have really 3 weeks of great opportunities to keep building in our score, to keep getting better, to set ourselves up as well as we can going into SEC's regionals and on.
Anything else? Nope. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you. Well done.